Hello everyone, my name is UltimoFive, and today we are going over Galatine Prime, Sir Gawain's Slicer. Galatine Prime is the Prime version of Galatine and was released alongside Tigris Prime and Necros Prime. In order to obtain Galatine Prime, one must open a variety of relics that contain the blueprint, handle, and blade in order to make it at the foundry. Requires a mastery rank of 13. Comes with 2 V polarity slots plus a D stand slot, and because of this the builds on this weapon will require 2 Forma. And it excels in medium to large crowd slaughter against all factions in high leveled areas. The Galatine Prime has a couple of buffs when compared to the original Galatine in different areas. These stats would be higher base damage, higher critical chance, and higher status chance. Advantages for the weapon would be that it has high base damage, very high critical chance, and a very high status chance. Disadvantages, however, for the weapon would be that it has low impact and puncture damage. The element for the Galatine Prime against Corpus would be Toxin. Toxin deals 50% base damage per second over 6 seconds and stacks indefinitely with each instance having its own timer. The build's flex slot is Gladiator Might and worked out great. Although there are some slight issues against Bursa type enemies, the rest of the Corpus is completely eradicated and the weapon has no issues with them. The element for the Galatine Prime against the Corrupting Grineer will be Viral and Slash. Viral amplifies health damage by 100% for 6 seconds and stacks up to 10 times for a total of 325%. Meanwhile, Slash's status effect is Bleed, and after 1 second deals 35% of the base damage per second over 6 seconds, which bypasses armor. The build's flex slot is Prime Smite Corrupted or Grineer, and this build works pretty great due to the amplification of damage from Viral procs and increased faction damage. However, if one wants to keep their Smite mod and not use it as a flex slot, then one could follow the Pure Slash build. The Pure Slash build performs roughly about the same as the first build, but ended up dealing less true damage, which is why it is an alternative build with the flex slot being Gladiator Might. The element for the Galatine Prime against the Infested would be Gas. Gas deals 50% base damage per second over 6 seconds in a 3 meter radius and stacks up to 10 times to a total of 6 meters. The build's flex slot is Prime Smite Infested, and this build works pretty good. Throughout multiple tests, I found that Viral actually didn't work all that well, and Gas ended up doing better and just completely melting the Infested away. However, if one doesn't want to use a Smite mod against the Infested, then a good alternative would be Gladiator Might. Smite mods and Fever Strike, in place of their primed counterparts if you don't have them. Amalgam Organ Shatter, in place of Organ Shatter if you use heavy attacks and are okay with losing 5% critical damage. Gladiator Rush or Drifting Contact, in place of the flex slot for helping with combo duration if you don't have Naramon focus or can't handle the combo chain duration. And Quickening, in place of the flex slot for helping with increased combo count chance along with a slightly faster attack speed. There are several ways to enhance critical stats and damage for this weapon. For instance, for damage, Rhino's Roar, Valkyrie's Warcry, which bolsters attack speed in turn increasing DPS, Nova's Molecular Prime, which makes all sources of damage increase by 100% against primed enemies, Mirage's Eclipse mixed with her Hall of Mirrors as a massive damage bonus during the day and light, Saren's Toxic Lash mixed with her Spores abilities, Equinox's Rest and Rage and Day Form makes targets more vulnerable to damage, and Volt Speed, which bolsters attack speed in turn increasing DPS. For critical stats, Harrow's Covenant can add up to 50% critical chance and 200% on headshots. The Adarza Kavat with Cat's Eye can give a 60% critical chance boost, and Smita Kavat with Charm can give a 200% crit chance. Arcane Fury. On critical hit, 60% chance for 180% melee damage to melee weapons for 18 seconds. Arcane Blade Charger. On primary weapon kill, 30% chance for 300% melee damage for 12 seconds. And Arcane Strike. On hit, 15% chance for 60% attack speed to melee weapons for 18 seconds. When you get your hands on a Riven for this weapon, the flex slot to replace will be Gladiator Might, and will only require 1 more Forma. In order to maximize damage output with Galatine Prime, one will need to get lucky and get some nice stats. These ideal stats for higher average damage would be melee damage, critical chance, and negative finisher damage or negative heavy attack efficiency if you don't like using heavy attacks. For higher sustained DPS, the ideal stats would be melee damage, critical damage, attack speed, and negative finisher damage or negative heavy attack efficiency if you don't like using heavy attacks. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more guides on Warframe, please click the like and sub buttons to let me know. And as per usual, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.